My name is Honorable Chief Nelson Alapa, former House of Rep member, and of course a senatorial aspirant in the Benue South Senatorial District, Benue State. Precisely, I was a deputy minority leader of the House of Rep, and being in the House of Rep has given me a lot of window to explore. The few years I spent in the House of Representatives was momentary, and the record is there to testify to my testimony. I was able to go around my federal constituency with projects, meaningful projects that are there, that history will agree with me, to the extent that they form a basic testimony of this brief. However, your question is, why do I want to go to the Senate? Of course, it's natural that one have to look forward. You must look forward progressively. And apart from that, there seems to be a vacuum in the Senate seat of this zone where I come from. With the experience I have as a parliamentarian, and then I see a senator who is equally a parliamentarian not doing what is expected of him as a senator of the zone, thereby creating a vacuum. There is an obvious vacuum of leadership, vacuum of quality representation. So, given all this, as a human being, you must look around your environment and see what is there and what is not there, so that you can be able to intervene with the needful. And that's why I've looked around the history of the senatorial representation in the Benue South Senatorial District, all the way from highly revered statesman, Senator David Mark, and before Senator David Mark, there was Ame Ebute, the former Senate President Ame Ebute. When you look at history, and most fortunately or unfortunately, so to say, but if this record is not speaking well, it's speaking, the message is either for or against somebody. For the fact that the present senator, in my own judgment, is not representing the people of Zone C effectively, to the extent of giving them what is due them. Well, he may have been doing his best. He may, obviously, it's somebody I have a lot of respect for. He may have been doing his best, obviously, until you get to him, he'll be able to tell you what he's doing, what he's not doing, and why he's doing what he's doing against what he's not doing. All that is left for him to decide, to judge himself. But I feel, coming from this party, APC as a party, he represents PDP, and I want to believe that whatever record he has is obviously representing his party. I want to say the PDP as a party have not done well in the senatorial seat. So, because there is a vacuum, take it from here now. I've been in this Otuku, even as a House of Rep member, because my mother comes from Uju. I go there from time to time. I see a lot of developmental deficits. And these are avoidable deficits, to the best of my knowledge. As a senator representing Zone C, you may not have the power of the vote, but you have the power to lobby. You prioritize what you want to ask for. we have the three regional zone of the senatorial district: the Old Oju, Old Okpoko, and Old Otukpo. Hey, look at you. You go around this place and see what is needed. Particularly, the people of Igede Nation are largely affected by this developmental deficit. So also you go to Ado. Go to Ado. You can't find your way to Ado. The only relief we have today in Oju today is because the governor of the day, the present governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Lyomen, alias PhD, has deliberately taken in cognizance the fact that, yeah, the Igede people need a road. At least they need a road to access the ancestral home. It is Governor Alia who God brought him to listen to the yearning of those people. What of Ado? And I'm sure his project, the governor's project, is spread around the whole zone. But at the time, he's the one trying to address it. But obviously, if there are collaboration from the Senate, at least it will help support what the governor is doing. You may not do much for the governor because the governor is the chief executive of the state, but you would have added whatever you can through the federal government intervention, through your senatorial district. You would have added to what the governor is doing. But unfortunately, rather than even collaborate with the governor in terms of developmental areas, looking at this, this is a senator that has no relationship with the governor, which is obviously absurd in democratic process and reasoning. I was a minority leader when I was in the House of Rep. I was only member of the House of Rep in the legislative chamber of the House of Rep. I was the deputy minority leader, and I come from a particular constituency here. Every other of the members of the rep were PDP. I was the only one among them. But because I need to advance the need and cause of my constituency, I relate well with all of them, including the governor of the state. Obviously, we don't occupy political office for our own interests. We occupy political office because we are representing the interests of the constituents. So it's not about your interests. So I believe the gap in relationship between the senator and my governor and the governor of the state contribute largely to this developmental deficit we have in our area. In as much as the governor is doing his best, the governor's program of development has captured as much, almost all the areas of Zone C. But here, one expects that as a senator, rather than even encouraging and even commending the governor who is doing something around the place, the man would rather go on the air insulting the governor. Most unfortunate. I have been a minority leader. And I come from Benue State. I relate to the governor very well. That factor alone is very important in politics. That factor alone is the reason why I want to go to the Senate. I want to be in the Senate and lead by example of what good relationship with the state you come from. The benefit and importance of relating well with the state you come from. The fact that you are a senator, you are not an island. You are not an island, or you don't have a political island to yourself because you are a senator. Comrade Abamoru is my friend, is somebody I respect, but in these areas, his approach to political relationship I consider it completely absurd. It will not add value to the people you are leading. Good relationship with the state you come from matters. So you don't showcase your style by being in a clear position, contesting what you are not supposed to contest. Leadership is about leading by example. Me, I expect a more cordial relationship that will bring about development to your area. I went to the House of Rep. Even when in and out of House of Rep, I am still attracting development to my area. You are in my. This is my country home where I am today. The street that leads to this place, the ring road that leads to this place, I influenced the construction of this ring road. Go to National Alapa Avenue, Elder Alapa Avenue, that where my family house is. Behold, I was in the House of Rep as an opposition when the governor of the day, Governor Gabriel Suswan, then directed that street should be constructed. Did you see? I am an opposition. So I am talking about the importance of relationship. The fact that you are in the National Assembly does not make you have a political Ireland of your own. This is a very strong factor. And above all, because what I know should go to the people, what I know that people should benefit from under this senatorial district, as long as they are not having what is due them, I believe that when I am there as a senator representing Benue South Senatorial District, I strongly believe that I will do much better than he's doing now. My record is there to attest to what I am saying today. In politics is about, first of all, the grace of God. If you so identify that the grace is there to help you, then of course you need to work for it. As the only person from Benue State in the opposition, in the National Assembly, in the House of Rep precisely, from North Central. There are other states like Niger was dominant with ANPP. Kano was dominant with ANPP. Kano has 44 federal constituencies. Then Yobe was there too. Yobe, these are states that had dominant ANPP reps in the National Assembly. My ability to lobby this majority to support a minority like me, a single minority like me, it goes to say, yes, I utilize the grace of God that was with me. And of course, I worked hard, applying all political principles and lobbying principles to be able to gain their confidence. My support came largely from the largest federal constituencies, which is Kano. They gave me full support. Then, of course, Boronu. Thank God, Betara, my very good friend, led the campaign of that area for me. And they all voted for me. It was a clear voting. So, the only thing the National Secretariat of my party helped me in doing is to zone the principal office to North Central. All of this is a product and an effect of good lobbying. Presenting yourself very well to the National Secretariat of your party to believe and see reason why they should zone this particular office. I played into a particular sentiment that I am the only single person giving birth to politically in the National Assembly, in the Federal House of Representatives from Benue State. One person among 10 representatives. So of course, if the leadership of the state will come, I definitely cannot take it because I was in the minority. And so what next? I should work for what office that can come to the state that I can hold, which is the minority leader. And by the grace of God, thanks be to Chief Obonionu of blessed memory, who agreed with my argument and then zoned the office to North Central. And then we went into the race among the North Central people. And I won. And I won the confidence and the support of all other House of Rep members to be their leader in the Federal House of Rep as at the time. So this is how far I have gone, and then it's just applying principles of good morality, commitment to relationship, rather than towing the line of a campaign of calumny, going against your state government. You don't grandstand by insulting the governor. For what? The governor of the state, who is the chief executive of the state, you say so many things against him, and these things are not facts. They are not facts. So every leadership comes with responsibility and a full sense of morality in whatever we are doing. So these are the shortfalls I know by the grace of God when I become the senator. The Benue South Senatorial District will see things differently.